Tweet sent out today by Paul Heyman, actually a few hours ago, that actually references The Rock, and they kind of tease The Rock appearing at WrestleMania 30. Are you in believement that this is it for Dwayne, or do you think he's going to continue working with them from WrestleMania 30?
I honestly think he's a better actor than he was a wrestler, in my opinion. I'm not bagging his wrestling, but the guy's an actor. He's got deals lined up. I'd rather see him in Hollywood making quality films than wasting his time with the WWE.
Here's the thing with Dwayne too. I always somehow ended up seeing a Dwayne Johnson movie. Sometimes I wouldn't want to see it. Sometimes I would just even randomly end up in the theater watching a Dwayne Johnson movie. And the way that I look at it is, you can say all you want that he turned his back on the wrestling business, but I mean, he joined wrestling to entertain, and he's still entertaining no matter if he's a wrestler or he's an actor. So, I mean, it's a win-win situation for both ways. I mean, he didn't turn his back on anybody.
Hello?
Yeah, he didn't turn his back on anybody, you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. And there's nothing wrong with what he did. I left wrestling while I could still walk. It's like a lot of these guys, these indie guys, just put in the hard work and make all these sacrifices, and before they're done, before it's all over, or at the end, their brain damage, all these injuries to their spine and their knees, and all these injuries they sustained for nothing, really.
Yeah, and you know what the biggest thing is with independent wrestling? The biggest thing that I've come to know over the years is that it's all about getting a television deal. And once the independent companies get the television deal, they fuck it up, and then they go back to square one.
I know.
And then
I know, and the whole thing with television, and I've learned from acting, if an actor says they love the whole audition process, they are so full of crap. They are just full of crap, Jonathan. You're in this room auditioning in front of 3 to 5 people that don't want to be there. They want to go out and scout the location, film this, and just get this done. And you're putting your heart and your soul into this audition. And and as soon as you're done, you're home waiting for a phone call. And if you get the call back, sometimes several weeks or months go by before you get another one. Then when it's down to you and the last guy, they call you up after a month or two and tell you didn't get the part.
It's funny you mention that because I've read so many autobiographies that several actors and actresses have released through the years, and there's always a part in an autobiography where they reference, waiting for a call back and being so excited when they get this one call back, no matter who it's from, and then they start complaining about, how they had to wait years to get a call to be in a movie with Danny DeVito, or had to wait years to get a call to be in a movie with Johnny Depp. I mean, it's almost as if they don't want to accept the fact. They think one movie deal is it for them, and they're going to be famous from then on out,
I know.
It's sickening.
It's just nuts. I was so close to getting my own documentary by a Hollywood company. Then the fact that they called me after that much time, and the funny thing about it is, you never know why you didn't get the part, and it just drives you nuts.
Yeah, you're like, why didn't I get the part? Well, they beat around the bush, and they give you some reason they believe to be logical, but it's not the legitimate reason at all.
Did they not believe how crazy my life is? I was thinking wow. Then they were asking me how tall I was and how thin, and I was like 6'4", and I'm 140 pounds on a fat day. I'm 145.
Yeah, I know how hard your life is.
All I do is train, work out, and I'm constantly getting in the recording studio. I'm auditioning. I'm playing the drums or singing or even playing guitar or keyboard, and I'm just constantly trying to get my break.
Yeah, and
I haven't been given much of a shot, though.
And I understand, your boundaries.
More contacts and just trying to build up gig by gig. Try to get something out there.
Yeah, that's why we're going to have this up on YouTube hopefully by this evening for you. I'll go into your Facebook and get some photos of you and throw it up on YouTube as quickly as I can to get you some promotion. What it all comes down to, Nate, is statistically, people like you and I, after everything that we've done, should be working for major companies. But still in all, we're still sitting at home waiting for a call that's never going to come. And it's not fair. You know, statistically, for what I did for, let's say, Victorious, shouldn't I be writing for that show by now or writing for the WWE? But, you know, it's never going to happen.
Writing? I don't know. I think you're more of an actor. You should be in front of the camera, Jonathan, commentating. You're way better than Michael Cole ever was.
Oh my God. I mean, when he was a heel character, that was something that I was giving him a lot of heat for. Because one thing that you'd notice about Michael Cole's commentating is you have your lead voice, a couple of things actually. You have your lead voice of Raw, who supposedly comes prepared, in the words of JBL, who was actually here on this show about 2 or 3 years ago talking about Michael Cole. Everybody puts Michael Cole over, but you have your lead voice who is supposed to be unbiased, acting like a fool every week on Raw, supposedly coming with all these notes, fucking up during important matches while he's tweeting, and trying to be an on-screen performer, which is not working at all. It doesn't make any sense to me what they were doing with Michael Cole at all. And then you have these skilled announcers like Jim Ross and even Josh Matthews who don't even get enough on-camera time. You know, what is the deal with that?
I know it's an unfair world, and I might get my shot, but it's just because I keep hustling and I'm going out there and I'm just like meeting all these people. I'm doing so many crazy things. Eventually, someone's gonna notice. I got invited to a party in March or April at this luxury hotel called the W in Hollywood.
Okay, we'll have to figure out what the W stands for, and hopefully, if I ever see you again online, we'll, you know, give an update on that. Another thing that I noticed about Michael Cole's commentating, I actually just thought of this. You and me, Nate, are going to have a match the same night that we're calling the show. Okay? We're calling Monday Night Raw, and we're going to have a match against each other the same night. So we're calling this match so professionally, and you're like, oh, Jonathan, that was a great move. Let's fight. You know, shouldn't we make it sound like we legitimately hate each other and we're going to kill each other in this match we're going to have?
Yeah, like I'm going to be sitting next to you before my fight, like, hey, John, how you doing? And then 2 seconds later, I'm going to kick your ass.
You know, it doesn't make any sense.
It doesn't work out like that. All my matches, when I did the Lucha, I'm in the locker room wearing a suit, and the other guy looks like he just got out of the state penitentiary or something, just giving me evil looks, playing with a butterfly knife.
Yeah.
Just nuts. I was like, I never had any matches like that, ever. I never had a guy before my match come and talk to me all friendly.
Yeah, because it doesn't have realism.
Stare from across the locker room every match.
It doesn't have any realism going with it. It doesn't have any realism at all, and it doesn't make me want to see it, you know? And the other option that we have now is it's all about Brock Lesnar's return. You did some MMA work. You gotta be frustrated about this. Here comes this idiot that hasn't been there 8 years, and now all of a sudden he's gonna be champion in a few months.
Well, Brock Lesnar, I'm not gonna knock him. He was an amazing athlete, but when it came to MMA, and sure, he can hit. He can hit, but the problem with him was he just couldn't take one. When people found out he had a glass chin, I wonder what I'm going to do with this NCAA wrestling champion. Will I go to the ground with him? Hell no. I'll kick him or punch him in the face as many times as I want and watch him fall.
Yeah.
It's just,
yeah.
It frustrated me. I got tired of watching his pay-per-view matches on the UFC because I ended up betting on the other guy.
Have you ever thought about writing an autobiography, Nate, with everything that you've been through in your life? Like, you know, you went through a state of depression. You overcame that, and I helped you through that actually on show 509 was the show. Between 508 and 509, you showed up here, you went through depression, you got through that, and you transited, you made all these metamorphoses in your career. Did you ever think about writing a book and devoting certain sections to certain parts of your life? Because it's been truly an inspiring thing, having a chance to speak to you on multiple different occasions.
Yeah, it was nuts. I went through a really rough time. I look kind of like, if I were to describe what I went through to that depression phase, It was like a cross between Jim Morrison towards the end and Heath Ledger's performance as the Joker. I just went nuts. I like completely lost it. When the house was going down, I felt like Ryan Leaf.
I actually watched that the other night, the Joker performance. That was the best. You know, people said, you know, that wasn't the Joker that they grew up with watching, but that was a Joker that left you at a loss for words. It was the most unbelievable portrayal of the Joker that I've seen in 25 years.
Yeah, and it's crazy. That's how I felt like. I was like that character. I was like, I didn't care whether I lived or died. I didn't care about. I wasn't afraid of anything. I was just on these like just binges every other night, just for months. It was nuts. And at one point, I was like, some kid recognized me from one of my matches and started talking to me and asking me how I've been and if I'll ever wrestle again. And I was like, I really didn't know what to tell him. So I went home. I looked at myself in the mirror and I just decided I need to change and make a comeback and start getting out there again.
This is a guy, ladies and gentlemen. This is a guy, ladies and gentlemen, who wrote me a few months ago and asked me to make him famous. And do you still have that idea in your mind that one of these days you're going to have your final match against me and that I'm going to beat you and retire you like you were inspired to have a few months ago?
I'll challenge you to a match, even if I have to fly to Canada, Jonathan, and go to Nova Scotia and beat you. I'll do it. I've been training with all kinds of... The guys I train with are former cage fighters or former All-American wrestlers. I'm constantly in the gym and I'm just going at it. I played 2 seasons of semi-professional football.